Hello, hello, Inspire family. I hope everyone is doing well. Okay, I want to do this video because I got a huge response from all of you, and I want to say thank you for your prayers and on my meeting. That's one great thing about Facebook is that we can just, if we need prayer, we could just send it out, and boy, do they come. So I got a lot of calls and messages, people wanting to know what was it I did to get a seat at the table with my local school district here in Cincinnati. So, I think I talked to 3 or 4 people yesterday, and I think even more comments are coming in. And I just want to take this time to share what worked for me. Um, you know, it was all new to me, and this is kind of how it unfolded. I am going to mention some things that I would do differently. I'm playing Monday morning quarterback here, but nonetheless, I believe that there are some basic things that you can do that will be effective in order to get a seat at the table. So, with that being said, and before I get into it, I just want to say thank you to all of our fearless leaders out there. Mr. Spencer Iverson, Mr. Damon Crump, Mr. Damon Coleman, Mr. Joel Medina, Derek Brown, Mr. Derek Brown, all the great leaders out there. I truly appreciate everything that you all are doing, and I pray for you all frequently. And I'm just excited about this year for us in Inspire. I really am. So, with that being said, let me get into what I did that worked for me. Okay, on my way back from Atlanta, I had an 8-hour drive, so plenty of time to mull over all the stuff that I took in, and already my wheels were turning on. Wow, who can I talk to about this awareness campaign? So immediately I started thinking about the young girls that are just starting that phase of their lives. For those that don't know, I have a 10-year-old daughter who will be starting that phase in her life very soon. So my mind just automatically went to the young girls, and I started thinking about the schools. And immediately I had every intention to somehow get in touch with the administration to see how to get this awareness campaign to them. So these are the steps that I followed. It's only 4, and some things might change depending on how your particular situation goes. But it just started with a phone call, and that phone call went like this: "Hi, my name is." Give them your name and just tell them, "Hey, I'm a part of a very important awareness campaign that I feel parents and students need to know about." That's all I said. And she said, "Oh, really?" And then she asked me if I was a parent in the district, and I said yes. And she said, "Great, I would love to get some information on it." Step 2. I mean, that was pretty much it. I was like, "All right, thank you. I'll send that out later today." And step 2, in the email that you send out, just send the nowweknow.net link. Number 2, in that email, send the Cherish video, the long version. And then this is what I would do different. Now, this is me playing Monday morning quarterback, but this is just my opinion. I think it would be extra effective to add a personal testimony, whether it's your personal testimony, ladies, or another testimony that you like. Me, particularly, Miss Sonia Agape, who I've had the pleasure of speaking with. I actually use one of her testimonies in the focus groups that I do. I have it on a board for people to read, and she's made this available. Excuse me. She's made this available in the group, in the Dare to Inspire Facebook group. So feel free to use that one or whichever video you feel would be effective. But the reason I'm saying this is that it just brings extra validation to everything else that that person is going to take in. Yeah, there's testimonies in the Cherish video. Yes, they are effective. But me personally, I think adding an extra, extra punch, power, whatever you want to call it, to have that personal testimony of a user is just real powerful. So that's it. Now, in my particular case, this is what happened in my case. Your case may be different. I got a response, and she said, I received the information. I will look at it soon. Okay. So from that point, 2 days had gone by that I hadn't heard anything. And I think that's, you don't want to be, you don't want to come off desperate or as if you're a pest. Give that person a couple days. They're doing, school administration stuff. So I would wait 2 days, me personally. And then if you don't hear back from them in 2 days, I'm going to tell you what I said. Now, your situation may be different. That person may look at that information that day, and they may get back with you that day and set up a meeting. So there will be no need for this. So, but anyway, if your case is like mine, if 2 days go by, you haven't really heard anything, you would just simply say, introduce yourself or whatever, and just say, I would like to know if it would be possible for me to meet with you to explain in person the campaign. Wait a minute. I would like to know if it would be possible for me to meet with you to explain in person the campaign and my intentions for transparency's sake. Getting this awareness out is very important. And that's all I sent. And that day, she set up a meeting for March 27th. And the step 4, which is the meeting, I had full intentions of doing a demonstration right there with the pads, but I didn't have any more Cherish pads. So I know a lot of people were in the same situation, but I didn't let that stop me. I still got a seat at the table. And you'll have to use your own explanation of why you're passionate about this campaign. I went into just a brief history of Inspire. We're just a little over 100 days old, and how the product is manufactured in Asia. And then I went right into the differences, what's out there, what's potentially harming our women, and then our version. If you've done focus groups enough, you should feel pretty confident in talking about it. And if you haven't, practice, talking about what we already know, how the material that's used in the products that's out there now is recycled paper, wood fibers, it's bleached, it gives off dioxin, it's 10 times worse than cyanide. Talk about the exterior, how it's plastic and it traps all the heat and all the discharge there in the woman. You got to come up with your own verbiage that you feel comfortable with. And then talk about our version. And one particular testimony that I talk about, and I still don't know who this lady is, but Mr. Damon Crump mentioned this in the very first video he did that everyone saw, that got me to join the business and thousands of other people. The YouTube video from last year where he talked about one of the strong leaders that's in the business, how she wore the pad for 24 hours and still was dry and no odor. I share that, So you come up with what you want to say in that meeting if you don't have any pads. You're going to have to talk even if you got pads. You follow what I'm saying? I wanted to do a demonstration, but I was being a little bit too generous over the weekend, and I gave the last one that I had to a friend at my church. I had promised I would give one for her daughter to try. So that was it, people. That's all I did. I didn't do any, the main thing is that you got to get a seat at the table. You got to make that phone call. Don't send an email. Get a phone call directly to that office. That gets you a seat at the table. That gives you much higher chances of getting a seat at the table than versus just sending an email first, in my opinion. Other than that, that was pretty much all I did. Now, I want to say this. Schools have a vetting process. They have certain guidelines and things that they have to follow before they allow any entity, whatever the subject matter is, to come into their district to talk. So be patient in that process. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. It doesn't mean that if you're not hearing back from them, that things are not going your way. Just realize in their world, there's legal issues, there's legal ramifications if things aren't followed properly. They have to follow certain guidelines in everything that they do, and which they should. But by all means, because we already know how great the product is, we already know. So even though I would say maybe 40% of me was nervous, but that's 60%, maybe 70-30. I was so excited and so encouraged and because we know the power in what we have. So that is it, folks. I just wanted to send that out. I was getting a lot of attention, and I want to thank everyone. And I want to say this: my full intention of posting that was to encourage. By no means was it to gain attention to myself. It's not about me. It's about the awareness, and it's about the lives that are going to be changed because of this wonderful product that God has designed. God has designed this product. So I want to thank everyone for all the congratulations and the kind words and all of that. I totally appreciate it. I want to thank Mr. Derek Brown for this wonderful group and all the wonderful instruction and teachings and encouragement and everything that you do, sir. I totally appreciate it. I'm excited. I know all of us are excited about Inspire and what is to unfold for us this year. I pray that all of you are continuing to step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone, make things happen. If you don't have any pads, that should not stop you. Mr. Damon Coleman. Oh no, it was the other individual last week. His last name is Gray. I guess it's Kevin Gray. He had talked about how important that is to continue moving forward, continue making connections, doing events. Don't just sit back and wait for the launch date. Have something going, get some momentum going. So when we do launch, you potentially have a flood of customers already ready to order. Keep the ball rolling. Just because you don't have any pads shouldn't stop you. Okay, that's what I did. I met with them. Didn't have no pads, but I met. We got a seat at the table, and I'm making more connections every day. Just keep the ball rolling. Okay. So with that being said, again, this is Patrick Green. I hope this video has helped you. If you have any more questions, feel free to inbox me. I'll be happy to respond. But again, I felt the need to send this video out because I was getting a lot of people wanting to know, hey, what did you do? How did you do that? And I just felt the need to share it. So with that being said, family, I pray that everyone is CONNECTION today and the rest of the week. My prayers go out to all of our fearless leaders out in the field, our CEO, Spencer Iverson, Mr. Damon Coleman, Mr. Damon Crump, Mr. Joel Medina. I appreciate all the work that you all do. Mr. Derek Brown, appreciate you. I had a phone conversation with you. I loved it. I just appreciate all you leaders. I really do. I really do. So with that being said, have a great day. And as always, be inspired.